Hey guys, it's Joe with Donald Payne Financial Group, and today we're still on the topic of the 4 steps to financial foundation: protection, debt management, emergency fund, and investment. Today we're covering the debt management piece, and couldn't think of anybody to bring on board with me for this video other than my guy, Mr. Donald Payne. Hey, when you call this guy, okay, the greatest realtor on this side of the planet, make sure you remember that.
Joe, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to be able to talk to your viewers, your crowd, your audience, and talk about debt management. Something I'm extremely passionate about. It definitely plays in heavy into the real estate space, and we'll definitely share more about that. But I want Joe to start us off and just go ahead and explain some things to you.
Awesome. So, you know, the first couple of videos that we shot was we talked about, protection, right? The importance of, having something to cover you in case anything happens. You don't leave debt onto someone. So the next step, which we're covering today, debt management, is understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. What are the difference between the two? And I think this is where a lot of people have an issue, because one person, you could have 2 people. One person could say buying a house is an asset because of the equity, right?
Yeah.
Another person could say having a rental property is an asset.
Yeah.
Right. So just, that's why I brought him, because, hey, this guy goes to work and he's very passionate about what he's doing. So I figured, better 2 than 1, so absolutely. I just want you to tell them a little bit about what it is that you do and how you think that people understanding this topic, how that can kind of help them moving forward, put themselves in a better position so they can win.
Absolutely. So my name is Donald Payne Jr. Vision Realty. We're located in Columbus, Ohio, and a lot of times what I'm seeing people when it comes to debt management is they're taking on a lot of debt when it comes to student loans, credit cards, car loans, and sometimes waiting until they're comfortable to finally get a house. And usually that comes with a life change,
Mm-hmm.
with having a child or getting married or anything of the sort. They decide to get a home. And often what I tell people is that it's sometimes best if you go ahead and get a home before you get a car loan. And there's this thing called debt to income ratio. Mm-hmm. And that's something that is very important when it comes to your debt management strategy, that you think about your debt to income ratio, because oftentimes you want a certain home and you want to buy in a certain location, but oftentimes your debt to income ratio or your debt management can hinder hinder you getting what exactly you want.
Right. And I think that's also another important reason why we should focus on this topic. And if I make, let's say I make $5,000 a month, and I'm spending $4,500, I'm only left with $500.
Yeah.
If we're talking about debt to income ratio, I definitely will not fall in that. Yeah. I definitely won't make the cut,
It's going to be real hard for you to be able to buy any home.
So it's really, there's this saying, it's not how much you make, but how much you keep.
Yeah.
Because you can make $100,000 a year and you're you're spending about 90 grand, whereas somebody who makes 50,000, I see this a lot dealing with a lot of my clients, someone that makes $50,000 and you're spending, a little below 20,000, they still have 30,000. So at that point, when you look at 100 grand, in the public's eye, it looks big.
Yeah.
It's he makes good money, but what does he keep? That's a real question. And the other person who makes 50,000, but you're keeping about 30 grand, they're actually, it's very simple. You're rich. You're richer. They have more money to their name than the person who makes more money. So it's not really how much you're making, but it's how much you keep. And I want to talk about credit. It leads us to credit, right? So, credit definitely falls between the debt management topic. And I think in this country runs on credit, right? The reason why the economical system is so successful is because it runs on credit. The economy can run in 2 different ways. You either make it a cash environment where in order for me to buy a house, I need to come up with, say, 100 grand to buy the house.
Yeah.
That is very challenging, right? That's why credit is so important. So, and that makes the economy a lot slower because
money's not moving as fast.
Money's not moving as fast. But when we have credit, we're taking on a debt, and it put us to work to, work to make that money to pay off the debt over time. That is what makes the economical system in this country so successful. So I think credit is something that is very, very important. I think understanding the topic credit, and how to use it, you set yourself up for success.
Absolutely. Because we all want the house that matches the car, right?
Right.
We got that BMW sitting out front. We also want that nice, big, beautiful home in that nice neighborhood, correct? Mm-hmm. And so when we think about these things, we got to think about, what type of credit do we need to get those things that we want? And sometimes we focus so much on a score, we don't also always look at what are my actual payments and how is that affecting my ability to be able to buy or gain the thing that I want. So, but first and foremost, let's talk about score. 700 is the score that everybody talks about,
right.
So much. We all want to be in what's called a 700 club, right?
Right.
Self-employed or W-2, doesn't matter. 700 club is the goal. And I want to reaffirm that is the goal, right? I think that it's not as challenging as we might think.
It's really not.
I think that a lot of times we think we need to get a car loan or maybe even get credit cards and spend on a monthly to get there. And really, you don't have to have the car loan. You can if you choose to, but you don't have to. The credit cards, you spend on them every month and then you pay them off. But the things that really kind of lead to a strong credit score, first and foremost is going to be the length of credit. Mm-hmm. The next thing is going to be your credit utilization.
Yep.
The third thing is going to be the type of credit. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth thing is just how often you're paying back, making sure that you're paying back consistently.
Right.
And so each of those 4 steps is what's going to make up your credit score and really kind of give you that robust portfolio of credit. And so you say, hey, Donald, you say, hey, Joe, how many lines of credit should I have, right?
Right.
And so in my world, to be able to buy a home, you need to have 3 lines of credit. So that could be a student loan, 2 credit cards. That could be a car loan, 2 credit cards. That could be a personal loan, a car loan, a student loan. But the biggest thing I want to reiterate as well is that when it comes to buying a house, or even, let's say, even getting a business loan for our self-employed people out there, debt to income ratio matters. And what that simply means is, if I make $1,000, or let's say $3,000 a month, right? How much of my monthly payments is going toward that? And generally in the real estate space, including a house payment, that needs to be under 40%, generally.
I mean, even in real life, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to be able to, a lot of people focus on, and this is a little off topic. A lot of people focus on, the rule of thumb in the financial industry is save 10% of your income, 10, 15, 20% at the most. Mm-hmm. You know what the wealthy, what your rule is? I want to make as much money as I can so I can live on 10%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really what your goals are. But going back to what you were saying regarding credit, one trick that you can actually use, especially because this could save the next generation. For me, my parents, coming from third world country, they didn't really know a lot, and it's not their fault,
No.
But it is up to us to change that moving forward. And I think that one thing I found out that works really well is, as a parent, if you have a kid, once they turn 16 to 18, you can actually add them as an authorized user.
Yes.
It helps them with the 4 steps that you mentioned.
Yes.
It's funny we keep on going for the number 4 when it comes to finance. But, it helps them build the length of credit, right? Yeah. And you being responsible, you're doing what you need to do, making sure that you're spending 30% or less on credit card utilization and all the other stuff that he mentioned. By the time your kid is 20, 25, I'll say 25 because that's when you have a job, you're able to take care of yourself. You have a length of credit of maybe 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to do that. Mom and dad decided to, set you up for success. So that is also another trick that, although I didn't get that, it didn't benefit me, but I'm putting, this is something that you could do for your kids. You could do for your brother or sister.
And I think Joe's making a great point here, is that you're helping set your children up for success in that way. And it's the same thing about Joe's first step and the fourth step, is protection. You're protecting your child with a form of life insurance, whatever it may be. It helps them further down the road, but it's also passing on a form of wealth to them versus leaving them a bill. And so all of this is about future planning. And I understand some of us out here don't have kids and things like that, but it's putting some things in steps and keeping some things locked away, because that knowledge is truly that power.
Right. Now, do you have anything else that you want to add in terms of, the topic of debt management?
Nah, I think that was it, because we kept a pretty high level. We didn't go into a lot of details.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we try to keep the video short, Yeah. We don't want to bore you to death. But hey guys, if you find this helpful, my guy here, Donald Payne Jr. with Vision Realty, Joe Danzel with Dana Ben Financial Group, and we're pretty much in the same space. He's on the real estate side, I'm on the, finance side. So we're trying to bring value to you. If you find this very helpful, one, I want you to share. I want people in China, Beijing, somewhere, I want them to see this video even if they don't speak English, okay? And, subscribe to our channel. Hopefully, you find this helpful when we provide you with more financial tips. So see you guys on the next video.
Like, share, love.
Yep.